Good morning, everyone. How's it going, everybody? It's AJ here, just hosting another CHILLSOFT edit. Not really much of a stream, but I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what's been happening. Low-key tired of the stream, so I'm just going to keep it down to a simple edit, thus the CHILLSOFT edit. But of course, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of everything. Hope you guys are having a good one. Of course, today is September 11th, day of remembrance from the past 20 years or so. Oh, damn. But by the time you guys are listening to this, this is going to be released on September 13th, which is Friday morning. I'm going to try something a little bit different here. Maybe just kind of post up once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks. I've been hearing some of you guys kind of like just listening to me in the background, so I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to have some gameplay, some random footage in the background as I'm just talking about the current events, kind of giving my opinions and everything. You know, just kind of thought-provoking a little bit of the nonsense that goes on in our hobby of airsoft, right? I got my coffee. I got everyone here. I got Tater on my side. I got my MTW all set up. Man, I can't wait for that thing to, pop off. I'm going to bring that thing to the field, and hopefully we can get something going. I am going to be at Speedqb City this Saturday, September 14th. So if you guys are there, meet me there. I got to hit up the appropriate people to come and play with me that day, of course. But I will be out there with my new custom NTW build that I brought back from my Article 1. You guys have seen the video. If not, just watch it. It was from like a week ago. But you don't have to, of course, because I'm not going to force you. You're all grown-ass man. Before we start the rest of this video, I want to thank our sponsors. Joe, if you please.
Be sure to check out Blowback Masters. They have everything you need from high Kappa to G series parts. Be sure to use code TATER, that's TATER, for 5% off your entire order.
Jesus Christ, bro. Can you read the scripts?
AJ, I'm really trying my best here.
Really? Because honestly, it really doesn't sound like it. Bro, you need it. No, bro, you need to get better. Otherwise, I'm going to kick you off.
I am. Look, I can do this. Give me another chance.
I've heard that one before. All right, bro, just read the next one. Let's move on.
Netpro Speedsoft Gear is another great sponsor for this channel. Be sure to use code FERNY, F-E-R-N-Y, for 5% off your next order.
All right, that's good enough. We're going to go ahead and move on from here. I just want to give a quick shout out to the channel members for this video: HSA Doc, Algebra, Christos, and none other than the main man himself, CQ Speed, for being the main channel member with the highest access perk. I appreciate you, bro. You are the best. You guys can definitely join my channel in the membership and get some perks like getting a shout out. Of course, the higher access perks get behind the scenes of what I'm doing for the next video. You guys will also decide what I am going to do for the next few videos or so, and then we'll take polls and kind of go from there. I do appreciate everyone in this community, regardless if you're a channel member or not. I'm seeing all the influx of new subscribers, and it's awesome. Hopefully we can be a little bit more consistent with the videos, and I apologize, but this is going to be the first of many that we're going to do. I'm going to talk a little bit about the events that are happening, and it looks like we don't really have much going on, which is why I'm going to get into it. For Speedsoft League, it looks like the NSL just finished their main event not too long ago. It looks like SCA, Sac County Airsoft, is going to have a 4v4 tournament upcoming in the next 2 weeks. I believe that's going to be on a Sunday, the 29th, the 22nd, on the 22nd, I believe. It's going to be pretty cool because they're going to actually change the format a little bit. 2 rifle players, 2 pistol players. That's going to be interesting. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people joining this one since it's a little bit more simplistic, less complicated than the NSL. Again, not that the NSL is bad, but it just seems to be, not as friendly for newer players, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure they'll get the hang of it at some point because I'm still getting the hang of the rules, but I'm just going for the vibe. I do want to give a special shout out to Fives for letting me film over the weekend for the NSL. I did play just that Saturday with the boys over at DLM, Deadline Mob. Thank you again, Manny, and everyone else on the team for putting me on just for the day and for the jersey. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, so moving along to the other events, Speedqb is having the 4v4 limited class this Sunday, September 15th at Project N1, and competitive Speedsoft League hosted by Keegan is going to have a one-day player clinic. This is going to be at Tactical Airsoft Arena in Rockville, Minnesota, I believe. 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. They're going to be teaching the fundamentals, snap shooting, sliding, laning, 1v1 drills, games, and more. So that's going to be interesting. Keep a lookout for that. Any Milsim events, I don't really see too much unless it's going to be local, but nothing important that I've seen so far. I don't think Caber has really mentioned anything to me with regards to Oroville. I think that might be in October, but I'm going to have to follow up with him and see about that. Speedqb has pulled out for the rest of the season for Northern California. So there are no longer going to be events held by Speedqb for the rest of the season. On top of that, we also have Extreme Airsoft no longer hosting events from Speedqb, as they also pulled out from there too. Not too sure about Tampa, but it seems like this is all due to low player turnout. A few events have been canceled, and it seems like this is becoming a reoccurring trend throughout the year. I also talked to Keegan on my most recent podcast about a month ago, had the same issue. He had to cancel one of the CSL events in Tampa due to low player turnout. Now, there's a bunch of factors that we can look at, whether that's, cooperation from the field owners, the staff, or even the community. Another thing that also factors in, of course, is inflation. We have all these leagues charging like maybe somewhat of a hefty price. Speedqb has a subtle inflation compared to NSL, where they are constantly just kind of bringing up the price every time. I think last year was $600. Now it's going up to like $800, $900, and they're only going to increase the price a little bit further. So kind of look at it, the pros and cons. Do you want to play something that's probably going to be 1 day's worth and a little bit cheaper, or do you want to play something that's a little bit more professional, hopefully kind of depending on the event, and but you're going to be paying way more up the ass, but of course you're going to have at least hopefully a max level of 12 players on there. But I don't blame anybody that kind of leaves the scene for the time being, just because it's just so many things that are happening. You got people with ego, shrugging, and all this other stuff. There's and people that act like they want to be a professional airsofter. That's wild to me, honestly. That's crazy. There's no such thing as a professional airsofter, FYI, because there's nobody that's completely living off just playing Speedsoft competitive tournaments or whatever. That's insane, especially for the fact that a majority of players play like they are D5 league, D5 division in fucking speedball. Wild. Now, some of these airsofters just need to kind of get a grip, face reality, and try at least paintball and humble themselves a little bit. But that's just me going off. There's just so many things that kind of ruin it. The current state of the competitive airsoft definitely has a ton of challenges, inconsistencies as well. And it's just a lot of people just need to wise up, act up, kind of just be there for the community, man. Honestly, it's all just about a vibe, and I'm all for it. But I hope nothing but the best for Speedqb. It looks like they are just going to focus primarily on Southern California, Vegas, and Texas, the Awaken Arena, and the new, the new Battle Lab Arena in Vegas. Yeah, I did go there. I went there during my trip to EDC, and the manager was really nice. It seems like the community is still building its foundation there. And if you guys ever get a chance, of course, that indoor event, it's got to be indoor because Vegas is always hot. And when I went, it was like mid-May, and it was already reaching up to its peak of 90 degrees, not high 90s or whatever. But you walk in, it's well air conditioned. There's like, I think one door you walk in, and it's kind of like a heat trap. You can walk into another door that brings you to the main lobby, and then you can either go one of both ways into the Evike store or down a hallway that's just basically staging for the main arena, or the main field rather. But it's cool. So again, yeah, nothing but the best for Speedqb and CSL. I understand that they're supposed to be coming out next year to Sac County Airsoft. I got to text Keegan because I understand that he wanted to do at least 2 different events at Sac County, but I don't think that might be doable. You might have better luck going to Southern California and hosting it out there. I know he's going to have one event there, so maybe we can have one event in SCA and another 2 down at Southern California. Maybe I might be able to travel for that one in the future, but we'll see. Everything is kind of up in the air right now. Everything, I just honestly just want to avoid burnout, and burnout is probably one of the only things that anybody needs to avoid at this time. Just play in moderation and just remember to have fun. When it gets too serious and you just lose the fun, you obviously need to take a step back and just kind of look at everything for what it is. I'm gonna circle back a little bit here and kind of talk a little bit about the scene. I did want to make a video about this. And trust me, I do. I have a script here that I'm looking at on my Google Docs that I've been working on for a little bit now, but I kind of stopped because I did want to kind of animate a little bit all about this and stuff. It's basically just kind of going into the inconsistencies that we're seeing within the competitive scene and where it's at now. You know, Northern California has its concerns because it's too NSL focused. Again, the league isn't bad. All right. If anyone's listening to this, I'm not trying to throw a dig at the NSL scene. I just feel like it is a little too focused, and maybe we could try a little bit harder to try to make way for all these other leagues to come in. But I get it. I get it. There are a ton of factors right now. Again, inflation, people burning out, just not a lot of people that are playing within the community to kind of keep these events alive. And that's fine. But I think what we also need to look at for the current state of everything as we are getting through this entire season, for whatever it might be, is people need to behave. You'd think that a fucking community with a bunch of grown-ass men playing with toys are going to behave? Probably not. It's straight on the spectrum. I say that, you know, like jokingly, but I often feel like it's true. You look at a ton of kids, or not kids, but you look at a ton of people, they're in a community, and you can tell who peaked in high school. You can also tell who fucking smells. Some of y'all need a deodorant. God damn. But yeah, I made an entire script kind of going into the whole issues of the Speedqb community, or whatever, at least competitively. The Speedqb community seems to be growing a lot more into the hobby of airsoft. That seems to be, in my opinion, what attracts a lot of people into the scene. And you know, although there are a ton of great things about the community, great things that we can acknowledge that some of these field owners that are, you know, doing, Adam working with Troy, helping Troy out, get out of the fucking ashes and getting back that community vibe that we've been longing for the past 2 years, ever since SCA had opened up. There was uncertainty with that field, and it seems like the community had came behind and supported, and Adam was one of the ones that stepped up, of course, with the help of his team, Tacos, and other people that are really involved in the community. And we're starting to see some of that support all over the country and all over the world, but I'm mainly focusing on our American country right now. I don't know why I said it like that. 9/11. But yeah, so there's just so much. I see what Roy is doing with Speedqb. He's doing an awesome job, and the man just wants to vibe. The man just wants to bring it to the community and vibe. That's it. I would rather lose just because I'm having fun than try really hard and not have fun at all. That's just me. And there's just so many dynamics when it comes to, you know, the I guess the cons of the community, because again, I'll mention it before, I'll mention it again. It's ego, shrugging, you know, people thinking they're pro airsofters because they got sponsors, and low player base. Right. Oh, and inflation. So those are the top 5 things I feel like that are really messing with us right now. Right. But there's so many things that we can look at and try to adjust. And I'm not going to say that everything's going to be cookie cutter and we need to follow a specific set of etiquette and rules that is going to fix everything within our country. No, that's not going to be the case, because we have such a wide, you know, space where there's so many regions, there's so many cultures and play styles, that everything has so many factors that make it the way it is. So in order to improve upon those things, we got to see which area is the worst in some of these regions. Like NorCal, I would say maybe inflation, which creates low player base. Uncooperative field owners, maybe the owners themselves. Of course, there's always the money factor. You want to make that money, you got to get the kids playing the Nerf. You got to get those rental days. I see that. I understand that, right? You got to keep your business up. Maybe, just maybe, you could have full force nights or something to implement something a little bit more different to get a different player base coming in and introducing, you know, specific style play or even a competitive aspect of Speedqb. But, you know, like I said, it's different. There's just, you know, just a wild idea. It may or may not work, but again, just a cooperation and maybe just kind of adjusting those prices. Some people have suggested in my last stream with Caber, and even when I talked to Keegan, maybe we can introduce a 1 free night or discounted night and then follow it up with another night again, if they continue to play, maybe a membership of some sort, right? Something better to kind of introduce more people to the scene, more people to the community. And hey, if they don't like Speedsoft, that's cool. Go to Milsim. They might turn over the Speedsoft at some point, and they might just do both. I do both, and I love it. You don't want to dwell yourself into Speedsoft too much, and we got to try to avoid burnout. And I think that's what we got to teach people. We got to do what Keegan is currently doing right now with the clinics. I think that would definitely help. I think kind of just communicating, having that understanding, creating that culture and etiquette, so that way we can still remain competitive and still have fun without all the ego blasting and people who are like pushing 30 or 40, getting upset, taking it up the butt because they thought they shot someone from half the field away and their aim is ass or whatever. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's so many things. If you guys are listening to this right now, maybe throw some recommendations in the comments, because obviously this is going to be a video that I guess depending on how well this does, I may or may continue doing. I just want to see the community grow. I just want to see more people vibing out, just having fun. That's it, man. That's it. This shouldn't be taken too seriously, because honestly, there's nothing to take serious. It's literally just toys and a hobby in game, and just there's no money behind it. So why bother being so serious? Why bother getting so sweaty? I mean, yeah, I can get the competitive thing, but when you're too far into it, I don't know if this is the right one for you, man. But no, let's go ahead and turn our attention. I'm gonna go ahead and work on that video still. I think that's gonna probably make it like a 2 to 3 week project if I was consistent with it, but I'll get to it eventually, at least before the end of this year. That way I can go ahead and expose that. Hopefully more people can kind of get that buzz going or whatever about the specific topics that are kind of bringing down the community and what we can do to improve upon that. So I started on a new build from my Article 1. You guys have probably seen my most recent video, my MTW. I love the MTW, and it is a custom MTW build. I just recently bought a newer handguard from Evike, the Daniel Defense 9-inch handrail or handguard. And it fits real smoothly over my current Article 1 body, the Speedqb edition one, so it's nice and skeletonized. Gotta keep it nice and slick. 9-inch rail, 7-inch outer barrel, of course, with the flush inner barrel. Keeping that nice, keeping that steady. I think, what else am I doing? Oh, I have a back mount, a Picatinny back mount for foldable stock, and I got the foldable stock from Evike. It's the 5KU foldable stock. Make sure you choose that option, because there are 2 options. Foldable stock is the way to go if you are playing close-knit CQB City or CQB indoor style games. Not CQB City. Obviously, I go there, but the MTW has got to be one of the best platforms already, hands down. Compared to a Polestar system or whatever, you have to take out the entire gearbox to work on your Polestar. Not that Polestar is bad, but there should be a better way to maintenance your entire rifle or your system or whatever, and that's what the MTW does. You can remove the entire upper receiver completely. There's no gearbox. It's literally just the engine, the hop-up system, and it's connected to the lower half. Well, not really connected, but that's only if you put it together. But if you've seen the MTW system, you know what I'm talking about. You can remove the upper receiver, do maintenance on that. You really don't have to do too much maintenance on the trigger board, or I think that's the only thing that's part of that. Everything else is real steel, so you can have that aesthetic. Not the internals, obviously, but the exterior. You can run whatever you want on, as you know, the pistol grip, because it does have that detent spring or the selector spring or whatever. So I have a Magpul pistol grip there. I have the foldable stock, like I just mentioned, and then I have the Daniel Defense 9-inch handguard that I got from Evike. If you do end up buying that, if you guys end up searching that specifically, the Daniel Defense 9-inch handguard, God damn it, Zelda. Make sure you get a barrel nut to go with that, because when I got mine the other day and I was about to assemble it, it did not come with a barrel nut. Make sure you get one. And luckily, I had one from my old Crytek that seemed to fit. So I have an old Crytek rail that I use, but it seemed to fit. I got it on there, and god damn, I think once I get my my angled foregrip from this one brand that I've seen on Instagram. I forgot. It's like Tam something. Tam Typology. I don't know. The design is all geographical. So, you know, when you're reading maps or whatever, it has curves to determine the height of the landscape and everything. If you know what I'm talking about, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, it's kind of that whole design that's textured onto the foregrip, and it seems like he has that design either onto a lot of his products or textured onto it, like foregrips or whatever, which I feel like is cool. That's kind of a dope design, fairly unique. So I wanted to have a little bit of something on there to make it my own. I do want to switch out that pistol grip, and thank goodness I tested it today because I had some issues with the hop up. I think I cracked the MTW hop up, which I've been told the stock hop up for the MTW or from Wolverine is way better than the Max hop up that came out specifically for the MTW. Strike Industries, I think, is a better option if you don't want to continue with the stock hop up. Just avoid the Max. Just for feeding issues, fitment issues. There's some other stuff that's going on. I still have to look into it, but I was always recommended not to get into it. So I'm not going to do it. I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this up here, but some final thoughts. I am going to be at the 4v4 tournament at Sac County Airsoft. So if you guys haven't caught me before on the speed field, catch me there. I think it's going to be September 22nd rather. I will be at CQB City this Saturday testing out the newly fully customed out MTW, but I've been waiting to try out for the past few weeks now. I might hit up GamePod at some point, maybe next month. There's a lot that I got to keep going on, especially with work and stuff like that. Am I going to play NSL next year? I think I have one or two people ask me that. I think so. I was honestly going to start taking up competitive paintball, maybe a little bit rec, just so I can get a little bit more competitive aspects, you know, just kind of be consistent with the competitive scene or a competitive scene. And I can only see that happening with speedball, not so much airsoft. And at least with speedball, there's more competition, there's more skill, there's more coaching, there's more to it than there is with the current speedsoft scene. So if you're getting into the speedsoft scene, I wholeheartedly recommend getting into paintball. At least you learn way more in that space, and you can transition all the stuff in paintball into airsoft, which is honestly weird that I don't see too many people doing that. It's honestly the best way to go. You can learn a lot. There's a few guys on YouTube that I would definitely recommend. What is like a Apache helicopter flying over my house? All right, they're gone. Just get into it, man. Stop cheating yourself. Stop spending so much money and only barely ending up in podium or just making second or third place. And there's so many things that I can get into that and why the things are the way they are now, but I think I'll save that for a video and kind of sprinkle some in other additional videos along the way. But honestly, it's been a good first episode of whatever the hell this is. I appreciate you guys for listening. Let's see, anything else? I do intend to hit up Battle for LA next year with the boys. I think that might be the last one, but we'll see. We'll kind of see. I really hope that we can keep this going for another few years. At least a Lion Claws event, maybe. Check out something in Vegas. Check out something in Arizona. We'll see. We'll see where everything takes us right now. But for those that are listening or those that are just kind of skimming through the video and you're listening to this last part, I appreciate you guys for listening. Just not watching, but listening. Thank you, boys. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Just be sure to hit up your local airsoft fields for local events. If you guys have any questions, concerns, feel free to hit me up on Instagram or mention in the comments below. If you guys really do like these, I'll do more of them. Probably keep it between 20 to 30 minutes. Really didn't have much to say. There's so much to go on about, but I didn't want to keep on yapping for the first episode. So thanks again to my sponsors, Blowback Masters and Nepro Speedsoft. You guys are the best. Be sure to use the coupon codes for that. Show them support. They're very genuine brands. I would never, ever take up a brand that isn't genuine enough. Learn my lesson. Hope you guys have a good one. Stay safe out there. Just remember, we're grown-ass men playing with toy guns.